This is the Improve and Have Fun podcast, where I'm improving myself, having fun along the way, with the hopes of encouraging you to do the same. These are weird stories for the week of May 8th, 2017. I've collected these stories over the last couple of months, and this is the biggest weird stories episode I've done. So I have 14 stories this time, which is a number. How is doing these weird stories like improving oneself? This is more of a guilty pleasure. I just enjoy finding these things that, like I said, they make me laugh. I think that if they make me laugh, I'm sure that there's someone out there that'll either make them laugh or make them scratch their head or make them think. But this is something I enjoy doing, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. Always would love to hear your feedback, and let's go ahead and get right into it. The first one here is, scientist finds footprint of ancient reptile. Let's check this out here. This is on thenews.com.pk. The subheadline: Barcelona scientists have discovered a fossil footprint from about 247 to 248 million years ago in the Pyrenees Mountains in Spain, which they believe was made by a previously known species of reptile. Interesting. The footprint was found among a series of tracks made by the ancestors of crocodiles and dinosaurs, a group known as Archosauromorphs. The researchers from the Autonomous University of Barcelona and the Catalan Institute of Paleontology said in a statement. The scientists dubbed the new species of reptile Protodactylus mesaxonychnus. That's what it's called. In an article published in a scientific journal, PLOS ONE. They believe the species looked like a crocodile but with wider legs and was about 1.5 meters, 5 feet long. The researchers said footprints suggest the tracks which they found in the Pyrenees Mountains in northeastern Spain of the border with France were made by animals that used all 4 limbs to walk and often also left marks with their tails. Very interesting. Finding new species of reptiles. I'm sure with technology improving over time, there's still species of animals that we have not discovered yet, whether it be in the bottom of the ocean or anywhere else in the world. I think that's fascinating. All right, let's go to the next story here. Is French cars fly in the French Riviera. This is on the Vanguard NGR.com. This is dated the 20th of April, and the headline here is, flying cars might seem like the stuff of science fiction, but 2 prototypes were launched Thursday on the French Riviera at an event showcasing supercars in Monaco. Dutch and Slovak companies unveiled their designs as world premieres in the tiny, well-heeled Principality, where luxury automakers have gathered until Sunday for the top marquee's showcase event. Bratislava-based Aeromobile, whose first prototype presented 2 years ago, suffered an accident and is back with a new generation of flying vehicle named after the firm which makes it. In a quote, they said, "We are taking reservations from today for deliveries expected in 2020 after the process of regulatory approvals is completed," the Slovak firm's spokesman Stefan Vadok said. The Aeromobile vehicle, 6 meters long with a fully deployed span of 9 meters, is a normal 4-wheeled car which can unfold its wings to transform itself into a plane able to fly 2 passengers at a cruising speed of 260 kilometers per hour for up to 750 kilometers. The price? Between 1.2 and 1.5 million euros, depending on options chosen. Flying cars. Wow. We are definitely in the age of the Jetsons. It's not far away. 2-3 years. They say 2020. The next story. Toy company now sells Limbless Bears. This is from the 21st of April. Reading a couple of paragraphs here. It's important for children to play with toys that represent themselves in some way, experts say. But the latest company to make this possible doesn't make toys that look like people at all. Actually, the Vermont Teddy Bear Company unveiled its Limb Loss and Limb Difference bears this week, featuring stuffed animals, stuffed bears to be exact, that are missing arms and legs. In a quote, the company said, "Occasionally we would have a request for a bear with a limb loss, but this is our first time officially introducing a bear with limb loss." Vermont teddy bear product designer Cassandra Clayton told Vermont station NECN. Customers can choose which limbs are missing and whether they are gone above or below the elbow or knee, much in the same way they choose their outfits. A fifth of the proceeds from the limb loss and limb difference bears will be donated to the Amputee Coalition. The bears went on sale Thursday, and as we near the end of the Limb Loss Awareness Month, according to the coalition's site, every day 500 Americans undergo an amputation, and as many as 1,000 babies per year are born with a limb difference. Wow, didn't know that. I don't know if it's a very PC thing or it's a very thing playing to people's sensitivities. I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's so bad, that whole limbless bears thing. I think that's kind of cool. I didn't know so many people per day or per month or per year go through amputations. That's crazy. So the next one is, woman has world's largest gallbladder. Here we go. There is actually a picture of the gallbladder. The thing is huge. It's like the size of an arm. On the story, which I'm going to go ahead and link to in the show notes. All these stories are linked up in the show notes for this episode, which can be found on the blog, which is improveandhavefun.com. And this is found on themangaloretoday.com, and this is dated the 20th of April as well. A gallbladder removed from a woman has been confirmed as the world's largest. Suman Rao, age 46, was rushed to the hospital after being left in agony with a terrible stomach pain. Surgeons found the gallstone had become lodged inside her and had forced the organ to inflate about 5 times its usual size, making it 30 centimeters long. On average, gallbladders usually measure between 6 to 7 centimeters. It was removed during surgery last August, and Suman has now made a full recovery. You can go to this article that I've linked to, like I've said, and see this thing. This thing looks kind of gross, definitely. Now, moving on to the next article here. And this one is more of a personal curiosity because I live a gluten-free diet. It helps keep the gut down, definitely. The headline for this story is "Gluten-Free Linked to Diabetes." The story is found on thetelegraph.co.uk, and it is dated March 9th. And let's go ahead and dig in here. It says, is going gluten-free giving you diabetes? New study links diet with the disease. Read a couple of paragraphs here. Gluten-free diets adopted by growing numbers of health-conscious consumers enhance the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, scientists have warned. A major study by Harvard University suggests that ingesting only small amounts of protein or avoiding it altogether increases the danger of diabetes by as much as 13%. The findings are likely to horrify the rising number of people who are banishing gluten from their daily diet, encouraged by fashionable clean eating gurus such as Jasmine and Melissa Helmsley. Gluten is found in wheat, rye, and barley and gives food a chewy texture and elasticity during the baking process. Only around 1% of people are genuinely gluten intolerant, a condition called celiac disease. However, some estimates put the proportions of adults adhering to gluten-free diets in the UK at more than 12%. The researchers behind the study have suggested that people who are limiting their gluten intake who are not celiacs should think again, and pointed out that there is no evidence that going gluten-free has any health benefits. From the very limited knowledge that I have, the very limited research I've done, the reason for a gluten-free diet that I know of from doctors that I heard, like Dr. Joe Wallach, Mercola.com, like if you're taking vitamins, if you're trying to take supplements, the inflammation caused by the wheat, barley, rye, oats to the gut makes absorption of these vitamin supplements a little tougher. This is the reason for a gluten-free diet, is less inflammation and easier absorption of foods. Now, with this article, I'm thinking that people maybe getting diabetes or maybe having a very high carbohydrate diet, maybe if you just increase your protein intake, then that won't be the case. I feel great on a gluten-free diet. Like I said, my gut is definitely down. It's not like super big, thank goodness. And it's because I just don't ingest gluten. Definitely something to keep an eye on, this whole gluten-free diet thing. Next story. Climber survives 2,000-foot fall. This is dated March 2008, and this is on krctv.com. Paradise, California. A mountain climber from Butte County survived 2 days in the snow after falling about 2,000 feet from a mountain summit in Colorado. Doctors in Colorado told his family it's a fall no one would be expected to survive. Ryan Montoya, 23, of Paradise, California, is recovering in a Denver hospital. He went missing Sunday while climbing alone, trying to summit Pyramid Peak, a 14,000-foot peak near Aspen, Colorado. His parents, Dave and LaShawn Montoya, traveled from California to Colorado to monitor the search effort. Montoya's mother said he was about 40 feet from the summit when the ice he stepped on collapsed, sending him sliding down the mountain. He told her about how he survived. Montoya slid an estimated 1,500 to 2,000 feet down the east face of the mountain, later telling his mother he fell long enough to do a lot of talking, thinking, and yelling all the way down. Scary. Once he came to rest in a snowfield, he was unable to use his dislocated left elbow. He saw water, pulled out his shovel, and used it as a sled to slide down towards the water. He survived by making a snow cave with his good hand. He hunkered down overnight Sunday as winds howled around him. He had an emergency bivy sack, which is a lightweight shelter, and had enough fuel to heat snow and make water. Amazing. One of these amazing stories of survival. And these I've always found interesting. Very, very, very inspiring story. This man survived, definitely. This next story is a dead shark found in a Walmart parking lot. This is on the NewYorkPost.com. This is dated March 9th. In St. Augustine, Florida, authorities are mystified as to why a 5-foot-long dead shark was found left in a parking lot of the Northeast Florida Walmart days before another dead shark was found nearby. Weird. The St. Augustine Record reports St. Johns County Sheriff deputies were called to the store parking lot last week after the shark was found in a shopping cart. Deputies talked to the owner of an RV parked nearby and learned that the RV owner had awoken to find the shark on his vehicle's hood. The owner said that he then put it in the cart. The sheriff's office says days later they were called to a driveway in Villano Beach and found another dead shark. The deputies called in the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission to dispose of the sharks. So strange, finding dead sharks in parking lots of Walmarts. Very weird. All right. Next story is human waste found in Coca-Cola shuts down plant in Ireland. This is in the Belfast Telegraph.co.uk. And the story goes, police have launched an investigation after what appears to be human waste found in a shipment of drinks at the Co-Antrim factory. Multinational Coca-Cola said it was probing the matter with the PSNI. It added products currently on sale were not affected. I bet. The late night shift at Lisburn's Coca-Cola factory was disrupted last week when a container of cans thought to arrive from Germany clogged up the machines, only for workers to discover a number were filled with what looked like was human waste. Yuck. It was absolutely horrible, one quote said, and the machines had to be turned off for about 15 hours to be cleaned, a source said. It was unusual because normally the cans come from somewhere else in the UK, but this time they apparently came from Germany. 2 girls in a cup, anyone? Yuck. The rumor is that some poor immigrants could have made that long journey in the lorry and in their desperation were forced to use the cans instead of a toilet. Shit's real. Pardon of the pun. Next story. Let's see here. Domino's pizza robots deliver pizza. This is from the Chicago Tribune.com. This is a story dated the 29th of March. Starship Technologies, the London-based company that has created 6-wheeled self-driving delivery robots, will begin taking customers Domino's pizzas in Germany and the Netherlands. Starship, launched in July 2014 by two former Skype co-founders, Ati Heinla and Janus Fries, will whisk pizzas to customers' doors if they live within 1 mile radius of certain Domino's pizza shops in select German and Dutch cities, the company said in a statement. Domino's Pizzas Enterprises, the world's largest franchise license owner of Domino's Pizza, with operations in markets across Asia and Europe, has formed a group called Domino's Robotic Unit to oversee the project. Domino's has tested ground-based autonomous vehicles for pizza delivery in Australia and in New Zealand in 2016. In November, it also delivered a pizza, peri peri chicken, by drone in New Zealand. A quote says, "With our growth plans over the next 5 years to 10 years, we simply won't have enough delivery drivers if we do not look to add to our fleet through initiatives such as this," Domino's Pizza Enterprises CEO Don Mage said in a statement. Pizzas being delivered by robots. This next story, 7-foot Great Dane, the dog, the Great Dane, weighs same as a baby elephant. This dog is humongous. It's almost the size of a horse. This, you can find it on vesselnews.io, and it was about 2 weeks ago the story was first reported. A Great Dane who weighs the same size as a baby elephant could be crowned Britain's heaviest dog after tipping the scales at an astonishing 15 stones. The 7-foot pooch named Balthazar has to sleep in specially made beds. He chomps his way through 108-pound worth of dog food every month. That's about I think $120 worth US, and rules the roost in his owner's house. Imagine the shit this dog must take. Scary. It's like a small village, the size of this shit. The 5-year-old pet measures 3 feet and 3 inches from his paw to his shoulder and 7 feet from his nose to his tail. He lives with his owners Vinny, 46, and Dixie Monty Irvine, 39, with their 3 children in Gedling, Nottingham. While not Britain's tallest dog, the crown goes to an 8-foot Great Dane in Swansea. Experts believe he is the country's heaviest. Vinny was shocked when he took Balthazar to the vets last week, and the scales clocked at a whopping 15 stones and 6 pounds. It's a big-ass dog. All right. Now moving to the next story. This is more for my conspiracy heads, because I love a little conspiracy theory stuff as well. Cashless society getting closer. This is on Reuters.com. This is the story dated April the 26th. It goes, more than a third of Europeans and Americans would be happy to go without cash and rely on an electronic form of payment if they could, and at least 20% already pretty much do so, a study showed on Wednesday. The study, which was conducted by 13 European countries, the United States, and Australia, also found that in many places where cash is most used, people are among the keenest to ditch it. Overall, 34% of respondents in Europe and 38% in the United States said that they would be willing to go cash-free, according to the survey conducted by Ipsos for the ING Bank website Ezonomics. 21% and 34% in Europe and the United States, respectively, said that they already rarely use cash. The trend was also clear. More than half of the European respondents said that they had used cash less in the past 12 months than previously, and 78% said that they expected to use it even less over the coming 12 months. The whole conspiracy theory regarding, cashless societies, what I learned from Alex Jones, is if no one is using cash, then all purchases can be tracked. Profiles can be made of your buying purchases and what you consume, what you do, what you wear, where you go. You could be tracked anywhere, as opposed to using cash, which is not the case. So that is a whole conspiracy theory with cashless societies. I think it's very interesting. The next headline, 2 teachers arrested for having sex with the same student. Okay. This story is on IJR.com. 2 Louisiana high school teachers have been arrested and suspended from their jobs for having sex, including a threesome with a student after a school football game. Wow. Shirley Dufresne, who is a 33-year-old mother of 3, and Rachel Respis, who is 23 years old, taught English at Destrehan High School in St. Charles Parish. But apparently their lesson plans included a bit more than the Common Core curriculum requires. Dufresne is accused of having sex with the 16-year-old victim twice and Respes only once. The local St. Charles Parish bench had been thrown into a chaos over the case. Accused Prita teacher Dufresne is the daughter of a judge, and 2 judges have recused themselves from the case. An independent prosecutor has been called to take over. Things started unraveling for these molders of minds when, as the Herald Guide reports, there was a shocking turn of events. This is a quote from the Herald Guide for reporting the story. The student bragged to classmates about having sex with 2 teachers, which resulted in St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office investigation at Destrehan on Friday, September the 26th. This story happened a few years ago, and there has been an update where one of the teachers was found not guilty. Let me pull that up super quick here. And I'm going to read you an update from this story here. Now, this is on the New York Post. This was dated the 26th of April. Shelley Dufresne, a former Destrehan High School teacher, was acquitted Wednesday afternoon of 2 counts of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, according to the Times-Picayune. Prosecutors said that the 34-year-old teacher of having a month-long affair with 16-year-old student in her English class at the school in Kenner, Louisiana. The male student, now 19, testified that his tryst with Dufresne began when she messaged him on Facebook in August of 2014. He claimed the pair had sex on multiple occasions, including an illicit romp with another former Destrehan High School teacher, 26-year-old Rachel Respis. All 3 of us were in bed together, the teen testified. We all started having sex. The judge's decision came after a 2-day trial in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. For the trial, the former teacher waived her right to a jury. Stranger than fiction, reality, 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 stranger than fiction. I can't say it enough. I say it all the time. Gotta say it again. The second to last story is Ridley Scott, the director of the upcoming Alien Covenant, which I cannot wait to go and see, says aliens will come for us. And this is on the news.sky.com. And I'll read you a couple of paragraphs here. This was dated on Friday, April the 28th. The veteran filmmaker is preparing to release a 6th film in the Alien sci-fi horror series Alien Covenant next month, which is this month now, May. He said, "I believe in superior beings, and I think it is certainly likely." An expert I was talking to at NASA said to me, "Have you ever looked into the sky at night? You mean to tell me we are it? That's ridiculous." The experts have now put a number on it, having assessed that what is out there. They say that there are between 100 to 200 entities that could be having a similar evolution to us right now. So when you see a big thing in the sky, run for it, because they are a lot smarter than we are, and if you are stupid enough to challenge them, you will be taken out in 3 seconds. This is what Ridley Scott said. And now for the final story, it's frozen brains woken up in transplanted bodies. Real science fiction stuff we're getting into here. You can find this on futurism.com. The article is dated April the 29th. The headline being, "Cryogenically frozen brains will be woken up and transplanted in donor bodies within 3 years," neurosurgeon claims. After he attempts the world's first human head transplant, neurosurgeon Sergio Carnevero plans to attempt another world first, reawakening a human brain that has been cryogenically frozen. Given the remarkable advances that have been made in medicine in recent years, it's hard to believe anything is still truly impossible. Artificial intelligences are diagnosing diseases, real-life cyborgs walk among us, and we're finding promising new clues on the quest for immortality. Even more remarkable breakthroughs are on the way. But if any one research team truly faces seemingly insurmountable odds, it has to be that of Professor Sergio Canavero, director of the Turin Advanced Neuromodulation Group. 4 years ago, the acclaimed neurosurgeon announced his plan to complete the world's first human head transplant, and this week, in an interview with Odom, he confirmed that the controversial operation will take place within the next 10 months. According to Carnavero, the operation will occur in Harbin, China, with Xiaoping Ren of Harbin Medical University leading the surgical team. And contrary to previous reports, a Chinese citizen, not Russian, Valery Spiridonov, will be the recipient of the donor body. This is totally RoboCop Part 2, putting brains in machines, but this is putting brain in another human body, which is loco to the max. It's incredible. We live in incredible times. How can you be bored? How can one be not amazed by what's going on in the world? That's going to be it for this episode of The Weird Stories. There's a lot more of these. I do these a few times a month, and you can find previous episodes on the blog at improveandhavefun.com. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below as to wherever you may consume this, wherever you may hear this. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening.